Hello, Aaron Wills again, bringing you another reaction video that I started on Tuesday, the 8th day of October in 2024 at 12:12 p.m. Along with welcoming you to my channel, allow me to thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe before sharing this video and turning on the post notification bell whilst you're at it. It'd be very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Here we go to YouTube. You know the routine. Alright. You know the routine, Jelly Bean. Here we go. YouTube.com one time. There it is, and now, bang. Do I do another Daryl Brooks trial, or do I, there he is right there. Or do I do something different? How about, this is Christy Gonzalez right here. Who is that? What is that? I didn't click on it. Why is it, maybe a writing. Let's see what's on my notifications. Maybe Jenna Maressi uploaded something. New Kids on the Block, no good. PewDiePie. Very streaming. For you, the Osbournes, 18 hours ago. Why is that for me, the Osbournes? I don't know, I don't care about the Osbournes. That was a fart. Sometimes I do like the really pressure on my hip, but that was a fart. I'm not gonna lie to you. Why would I lie to you? I love you. Friends don't lie to friends. Let's see. Got this, there's nothing going there. Let's go to Tim Maressy's playlist. There she is, right there. Jenna Maressi and her playlists. What we got going on? I've never watched this video yet. How long ago was that? How long ago was it? It doesn't say when it was made. Right here. Some rescue books and audiobooks. Read free for 30 days. How? Let's need a credit card. Huh. I don't know what that means. That's a short. That's a short. 10 chapters intro. What does that mean? Who chose her? What is that? Is that a book or something called 10 chapters? Alright. It's 11 chapters intro. Maybe it's a series. 10 chapters, 11 chapters, and then 12 chapters. Worst ways to end the book. Alright. Let's see if this is a short or a video. It's a short.
Number 9, the plot twist. A plot twist is an unexpected change in the direction or outcome of a plot. And the most common place to find a plot twist is the climax. However, it's not unheard of to find a plot twist in the resolution. Something happens right at the end and it flips the entire story on its head. The problem is not every genre is suitable for a twist ending, and some writers haven't gotten that memo. For example, the horror genre, or any novel that heavily features horror elements, is a prime place to have a twist ending. In fact, I can't think of a single horror novel I've read that didn't have a twist ending. But including a twist ending in a romance is going to feel out of place. Remember, readers are expecting a happily ever after. Thus, this is yet again one of those situations where it pays to understand your genre well. A plot twist at the end of the wrong story can ruin the reading experience for your audience. Number 9, the plot twist. A plot twist is an unexpected change in the direction or outcome of a plot, and the most common place to find a plot twist is the climax. However, it's not unheard of to find a plot twist in the resolution. Something happens right at the end and it flips the entire story on its head. The problem is not every genre is suitable for a twist ending, and some writers haven't gotten that memo. For example, the horror genre, or any novel that heavily features horror elements, is a prime place to have a twist ending.
And a little bit of the old searching, right there. Bang. There she is. How many kiddos? Does she have a playlist? Twilight rewrite. If I knew anything about Twilight, that might be pretty fun to watch. This is editing Twilight. Let's watch that. It should be fun even though I don't know anything about it. I like watching her edit.
At Volkswagen, we take safety seriously. Seriously.
I like watching her edit anything. Her Patreon's writing. I've seen her edit Twilight a little bit, and she's just really cool to watch edit. Her ideas are very, very neat, and it's amazing to make a split-second decision like she does. All right, here we go.
That's why we design and test a roof structure that helps keep you safe.
Hey, I'm Hannah. Don't look behind me, and don't ask where my fridge went. It's none of your business. For today's video, I was going to rewrite a story that I wrote when I was 8, but that turned out to require thinking, and I'm just not in it.
I think I did this one already. With you. I've seen it, I know. Unless she does this intro every time. I've seen it because of this intro. Now she'll say, I don't know what else she'll say. I remember her talking about her refrigerator and telling us don't ask her what happened to it. It's not our business.
Headspace.
Oh, she doesn't want to thank, so that's where she bursts at us.
Okay. So I'm not gonna. What could I do that requires little to no brain power? So today we are going to rewrite Twilight.
Burp.
I'm basically just trusting the website
Told you I've seen this.
that I copy and pasted this from to actually be the Twilight book, but I honestly can't confirm that. And we have a preface here, which actually looks like a prologue, right? I don't know how far into it we'll be able to get, but let's get started. I'd never given much thought to how I would die, though I'd had reason enough in the last few months, but even if I had, I would not have imagined it like this. I do like this first part. I'd never given much thought to how I would die. I think I'm gonna cut all of this. I stared without breathing across the long room into the dark eyes of the hunter, and he looked pleasantly back at me. I like this imagery. I see what she's going for. It's just not working for me. I stared without breathing. What about I watched the hunter's dark eyes? Looked pleasantly is really weak. We could put smiled, and like that could read as nefarious, like it's an evil smile, but I don't think that
What does
weakens it.
nefarious mean?
I think that's fine. Or we just put,
What does nefarious mean?
this is going to be 15 words long when we're done with it. Surely it was a good way to die in the place of someone else, someone I loved, noble even. That ought to count for something. I'm going to take out noble. Maybe we could make this more confident, like at least that was a good way to die in the place of someone else, someone I loved.
I still don't know what it is.
I knew that if I'd never gone to Forks, I wouldn't be facing death now. I don't know if that's necessary. That's like really specific. Could say there. Or we could just take out the whole sentence. I knew if I'd stayed home, maybe. I couldn't bring myself to regret the decision. This is still just clunky for me, but I didn't regret it. Is that fine? When life offers you a dream so far beyond any of your expectations, it's not reasonable to grieve when it comes to an end. You know, I like that we go back to the hunter, but I don't like this sentence. We could just put something really simple like raised his hand. You know, just like an action that he's taking that could suggest he's about to kill her. I'd never given much thought to how I would die. I think I'm actually gonna... I had never given much thought to how I'd die. That feels more natural to me. The hunter's dark eyes smiled at me. At least that was a good way to die in the place of someone I loved. That ought to count for something. I'm also gonna take out I knew if. When life offers you a dream so far beyond any of your expectations, it's not reasonable to grieve when it comes to an end. I don't love this sentence, but it is in line with Bella's like self-sacrificing kind of character. I also want this to be in present tense, but I don't think any of the books ever are. What if at least I would die in the place of someone I love? That ought to count for something.
Is she going to change the whole book to present tense while editing it also? That'd be very impressive. I don't think she's going to do that. And she said, I don't think any of them are, so there must be a series, Twilight series. I don't know anything about any of them. But maybe I'll learn a little bit as I go along with her editing this one. I'd like to see her change it to present tense as well.
Well, now we might as well cut the whole thing. Okay, but personally, I enjoyed this version a lot more. I had never given much thought to how I'd die. The hunter's dark eyes smiled at me. At least I would die in the place of someone I'd love. That ought to count for something. The hunter raised his hand. Just the bones. Chapter 1. My mother drove me to the airport with the windows rolled down. The windows down. It was 75 degrees in Phoenix. The sky, a perfect cloudless blue. I was wearing my favorite shirt as a farewell gesture. My carry-on item was a Parker. I like that. Good job, Stephanie.
In the Olympic Peninsula of northwest Washington State, a small town named Forks exists under a near-constant cover of clouds. It rains on this inconsequential town more than any other place in the United States of America. It was from this town and its gloomy, omnipresent shade that my mother escaped with me when I was only a few months old. It was in this town that I'd been compelled to spend a month every summer until I was 14. That was the year I finally put my foot down. These past 3 summers, my dad, Charlie, vacationed with me in California for 2 weeks instead. It was to Forks that I now exiled myself, an action that I took with great horror. I detested Forks. I loved Phoenix. I love the sun and blistering heat. I love the vigorous, sprawling city.
I think I'm going to put I detested Forks at the end of that. To Forks that I now exiled myself. An action that I took with great horror. I think I'm going to take this out. I loved Phoenix. I loved the sun and the blistering heat. I loved the vigorous, sprawling city. I detested Forks. Bella, my mom said to me, the last of 1,000 times before I got on the plane, you don't have to do this. I think I'm going to...
She does seem to be making it better. Again, I don't know the books. I never read them, never seen the movies, don't know anything about Bella. I know it's about vampires and stuff, but I don't know anything else about the book. But this that she's editing now, she's making it better, clearly better in my opinion. It's fun to watch how quickly she does it. Although, she may be so familiar with the book that she knows what she'd want to change anyway. I doubt that. I think she's just going through here and doing what she does. Edit. I would love for her to edit my novella that I'm working on now, but I don't think I can afford her. Now that sounds bad. I mean, I have to try to work out something with her pimp to see if I can afford her. I'm kidding. I don't think I can afford to pay her to edit my novella. Even though it's already got a little over 20,000 words, it'll probably end up with 25 or so. But at 3 cents a word, that'd be $7,500. I'll never have that to get my book edited. My novella. It's not a book, it's a novella. I'm going to come up way short of a full novel. As a matter of fact, I'm only 20,000 words, just over 20,000 words in, and I have not finished yet. I'm just about done. So, here we go. Here we go now. Here we go now. I was watching her finish editing this. Twilight.
Bella, you don't have to do this, my mom said. Before I boarded. My mom looks like me, except with short hair and laugh lines. I felt a spasm of panic as I stared at her wide, childlike eyes. How could I leave my loving, erratic, harebrained mother to fend for herself? I hate the way this teenager thinks. Every interaction she has is so unhealthy. But anyway, beside the point. Of course, she had Phil now, so the bills would probably get paid. There would be food in the refrigerator, gas in her car, and someone to call when she got lost. But still, I want to go, I lied. I'd always been a bad liar, but I'd been saying this lie so frequently lately that it sounded almost convincing now. I'm just going to say that it almost sounded true. Just the way that the sentences are structured, they're hard to read. Tell Charlie I said hi. I will. I'll see you soon, she insisted. You can come home whenever you want. I'll come right back as soon as you need me. But I could see the sacrifice in her eyes behind the promise. Don't worry about me, I urged. It'll be great.
I love you, Mom. She hugged me tightly for a minute, and then I got on the plane, and she was gone. It's a 4-hour flight from Phoenix to Seattle, another hour in a small plane up to Port Angeles, and then an hour drive back down to Forks.
Flying doesn't bother me. The hour in the car with Charlie, though, I was a little worried about. Personal taste, I hate semicolons.
I knew that about her. I know she hates semicolons. She says those are, those should be, what's the word? Those should be, restrained, no. Those should be dedicated, no, what's the word? Limited, maybe, no. Those should be limited to essays and whatnot, I think she says. Not limited, it's not the word I'm thinking. Basically, those are for essays and whatnot. But she took out a semicolon there. I use semicolons in my dialogue all the time, but I keep it out of the prose because of Hannah Kidder specifically. I don't know what other writers feel about semicolons and prose, but I keep it out of my prose on purpose. Because of Hannah Lee Kidder. Because I have it in my writing all the time, because that's how people talk sometimes. In my dialogue, I meant to say. Because that's how people talk sometimes. They talk in a way that would require a semicolon, or sometimes an M dash, or whatever else. Let's watch.
Charlie had really been fairly nice about the whole... Charlie had been... fairly nice. We don't need really and fairly. He seemed genuinely pleased that I was coming to live with him for the first time with any degree of permanence.
Charlie's her dad? She calls her dad Charlie?
We already know this for the first time. He'd already gotten me registered for high school and was going to help me get a car. But I was sure it would be awkward with Charlie. Neither of us was what anyone would call news little. I'm going to take out that it's going to be awkward because don't we see a conversation with him and see that it's awkward? When I landed in Port Angeles, it was raining. I didn't see it as an omen, just unavoidable. I'd already said my goodbyes to the sun. I like that. Charlie was waiting for me with the cruiser. This I was expecting to. My primary motivation behind buying a car, despite the scarcity of my funds, was that I refused to be driven around town in a car with...
I just stabbed myself in the eyeball with my microphone holder, as you probably saw. The reason is because I fell asleep, as I always do when I make these videos, because I'm always fucking tired. I don't ever sleep at night. I'm up in pain, I'm up with pain all night, or I'm up making videos, or fucking with my computer, or writing on my novella, and I don't ever sleep at night. So I'm tired now. I'm going to try to stay up. But I'm enjoying this for real. I hope you're enjoying it. This is kind of cool.
Red blue lights on top, nothing slows down traffic like a cop. Bella said A-cab. Charlie gave me an awkward one-armed hug when I stumbled my way off the plane. It's good to see you, Bells, he said, smiling as he automatically caught and steadied me. You haven't changed much. How's Renee? They got automatically. Mom's fine. It's good to see you too, Dad. I wasn't allowed to call him Charlie to his face. I only had a few bags.
Most of my Arizona clothes were too permeable for Washington. My mom and I had pooled our resources to supplement my winter wardrobe, but it was still scanty. It all fit easily into the trunk of the cruiser. I found a good car for you, really cheap, he announced when we were strapped in. What kind of car? I was suspicious of the way he said, good car for you, as opposed to just good car.
Well, it's a truck, actually, a Chevy. Where did you find it? Do you remember Billy Black down at La Push? La Push is a tiny Indian reservation on the coast. No? He used to go fishing with us. That would explain why I didn't remember him. I do a good job of blocking painful, unnecessary things from my memory. What? Like fishing was painful? I don't... I'm gonna... He's in a wheelchair now, Charlie continued when I didn't respond. So he can't drive anymore, and he offered to sell me his truck.
Neither can I, but I don't have any Chevy trucks to sell people. I did have a Ford Taurus I could have sold somebody, but instead I just let them confiscate it or repo it. After I had my stroke, I had no way of paying for it. They told me they could have just sold it and then I would owe whatever they didn't get for it under the... Here we go.
Gee, what year is it? I could see from his change of expression that this was the question he was hoping I wouldn't ask how. Well, Billy's done a lot of work on the engine. It's only a few years old, really. I hope he didn't think so little of me as to believe I would give up that easily. When did he buy it? He bought it in 1984, I think. Did he buy it new? Well, no. I think it was new in the early 60s or late 50s at the earliest. He admitted sheepishly. I don't want the repetition of early. Dad, I'm gonna do Char, because just a CH sound. I already forgot his name. Dad, I don't really know anything about cars. I wouldn't be able to fix it if anything went wrong. That's anything. Did this book have an editor? And I couldn't afford a mechanic. Really, Bella, the thing runs great. They don't build them like that anymore. The thing, I thought to myself, it had possibilities as a nickname, at the very least. The thing, a good nickname possibility. Why do we have to use 1,000 words when 5 will do? This is why the first draft of my fantasy novel was like 50,000 words. How cheap is cheap? After all, that was the part I couldn't compromise on. I asked. Well, honey, I kind of already bought it for you as a homecoming gift. Charlie peeked sideways at me with a hopeful expression. I love Charlie. Wow, free. You didn't need to do that, Dad. I was going to buy myself a car. I don't mind. I want you to be happy here. He was looking ahead at the road when he said this. Charlie wasn't comfortable with expressing his emotions out loud. I inherited that from him. So I was looking straight ahead as I responded. This is just an inch too telly, like we already know that about her. That's really nice, Dad. Thanks, I really appreciate it. No need to add that my being happy in Forks is an impossibility. He didn't need to suffer along with me, and I never looked a free truck in the mouth or engine. You should definitely look it in the engine. Like, there's nothing wrong with this, it's just her character, but I hate how every single thing she does is just completely self-sacrificing. That's not my favorite character for little girls to look up to. Well, now you're welcome. Embarrassed. Okay, I think having him mumble already shows that he's nervous about it, and I think if we could put he mumbled right here, it gives us like that little country boy hesitation. Well, now he mumbled, you're welcome. Yeah, that works. We exchanged a few more comments on the weather, which was wet. That makes it sound like the comments are wet. And that was pretty much it for capital C conversation. We stared out the windows in silence. I think, I'm not a huge fan of putting things in parentheses, but I think this connects it more to weather than to comments. It was beautiful, of course, I couldn't deny that. Everything was green. I don't think we need a colon and a semicolon back to back like that. Everything was green, the trees, their trunks covered with moss, their branches hanging with a canopy of it, the ground covered with ferns, even the air filtered down greenly through the leaves. It was too green, an alien planet. I'm messing with that, that's fine. Eventually we made it to Charlie's. He still lived in the small 2-bedroom house that he'd bought with my mother in the early days of their marriage. Those were the only kind of days their marriage had, the early ones. They got divorced real fast. What if we just put the early days of their marriage and then M dash the only days of their marriage? That's just quicker. There, parked on the street in front of the house that never changed, was my new truck. Okay, we don't need well new to me. It was... I hate when people do that. They say the color and then say that it's a color. Faded red with big rounded fenders and a bulbous cab. Dude, her car slaps. I'd drive that truck. To my intense surprise, I loved it.
I didn't know if it would run, but I could see myself in it. Plus, it was one of those solid iron affairs that never gets damaged, the kind you see at the scene of an accident, paint unscratched, surrounded by the pieces of the foreign car it had destroyed.
Wow, Dad, I love it. Thanks. Now my horrific day tomorrow would be just that much less... Now my horrific day tomorrow would be just that much less dreadful. Honey! What about my... first day of school would be a little less dreadful. Why not that? Or we could even make her a little more pessimistic. Maybe my first day of school would be a little less dreadful. Okay, I've had enough of this. Let me know if that did anything for you. I can continue editing Twilight. This is easy. As you can see, I'm moving. So next week, I'll be in a different state. I don't know how good the video is going to be or if there'll even be one. But subscribe, hit the notification bell. Eventually, I will upload again, if not next week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Sorry, once again I fell asleep. Nothing new, right? I'll try will again. I hope you can hear it. I can hardly hear it. I hope you can.
Your shipping manager left to find himself, leaving you lost. You need to hire. I need Indeed. Indeed you do. Sponsored jobs on Indeed are 2.5 times faster to first hire. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Now that I shop for credit cards with Credit Karma, I have major lucky crystals. If a card has the Karma guarantee, they'll give me $50 if I don't get approved.
You know I still have policy.
Get approved or get $50 on offers with the Karma guarantee.
Molly leaving was one thing, but then I thought Mom's meat bones might keep us stuck on the couch. No way.
If you have postmenopausal osteoporosis and are high risk for fracture, you can do more than just slow bone loss. You can build new bone in just 12 months with Evenity. Evenity is proven to reduce spine fracture risk by 73%.
I heard her say the Evenity she's taking builds new bone. Builds new bone!
Evenity can increase risk of heart attack, stroke, or death from a cardiovascular problem. Do not take Evenity if you have low blood calcium or are allergic to it. Serious allergic reactions and low blood calcium have occurred. Tell your doctor about jawbone problems as they have been reported with Evenity, or about pain in your hip, groin, or thigh, as unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred.
Building new bone? We dig it.
Want stronger bones? Ask your doctor about building new bone with Evenity.
Life is better with the credit gods on your side. Rewards once available to the few are now accessible to the many. Credit One Bank. Get cashback rewards. Live large.
Hims has helped millions of guys get treatment for their hair loss, sexual health, and mental health. At Hims.com, you can find a range of chews, sprays, serums, and pills made by combining multiple doctor-trusted active ingredients into innovative products formulated for results. Find the option that works for you. Get started today at Hims.com. Someone tried to steal your Butterfinger this Halloween. Call the PFI. No one makes a finger on your Butterfinger.
Meet the traveling trio, each helping to protect the money with Chase. Tools that help protect. Alerts that help check. One bane that puts you in control. Chase, make one. What's yours? Business. All your favorite fears. They're all right. There. What's the matter with you? If you knew, I'm sure you could smell it. No, he didn't. Did? See the look on his face? He always looks like that. What are you gonna wear to the dance tomorrow night? I didn't know you thought about things like that, Lori. You know, you could ask somebody, Monica. Sure you could. All you have to do is go up to somebody and say, "You want to go to the dance?" You could do that. I couldn't.
1963 when it happened. Every 10 Padfield thinks this place is haunted. But let me know. What is that? It's still warm. He got hungry. Just kept emerging. Could have been a skunk. Could have. They wouldn't do that. This is not bad. It happened here. She was sitting right here. He could have seen through his window. Standing on the lawn, he could have seen inside. He must have made a very sense doctor. Oh, I do that through. Seems to me you're just plain scared. Yes. Yeah, I am. I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. What do we do? He's been here once tonight. I think he'll come back. I'm gonna wait for him. I still think I should notify the radio and television. If you do that, they'll see him on every street corner, they'll find every house. Just tell your men to keep their mouths shut and their eyes open. I'll check back in an hour.
How now, cried Arthur. Let no one pass this way without a fight. Is that so? Said the knight, in a bold and haughty manner.
I don't like that story.
Sounds like Arthur was your favorite.
Not anymore.
Why do you keep him under there?
Mom doesn't like me to have him.
Laser man, neutron man, I can understand why. Tarantula man.
Lori, what's the boogeyman?
Go on, residents.
Me,
Hey, Annie, what are you doing?
making popcorn.
Having fun? Never mind, I'm sure you are. I have big, big news for you. Oops. Hold on a minute. Hi, Lester. I'm about to be ripped apart by the family dog.
Lindsay, get this dog out of the kitchen right now.
I hate that dog. I'm the only person in the world it doesn't like. So what is this big, big news?
What would you say if I told you that you were going to the homecoming dance tomorrow night?
outside. I'll watch TV. Just call me. Look, it's simple. Like him, likes me, or me, well, why don't you go out and not sex? No, I just made a mess of myself. I gotta call you back. Oh, yeah. Lindsay, I need a room. Lindsay, Lester's barking again, getting on my nerves again. Never mind. Guess he found a hot date.
At Verizon, every phone can be the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence. Wow, phones are going to be flying to Verizon. At Verizon, new and existing customers can get iPhone 16 Pro on us. Trade in any phone in any condition. Only on Verizon.
When we made the switch to coterie diapers, our baby starts sleeping better through the night and we have way less diaper changes. The material is incredibly soft, thin, and luxurious. It feels like lotion. If you want the best of the best for your baby, try coterie. You won't regret it.
I was drowning in debt.
I didn't even know how I was gonna buy food for my kids.
I had over $36,000 in debt. If I would have just made the minimum payments, it would have taken me 59 years to pay off. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get out of debt myself. I picked up the phone and called National Debt Relief. They were my savior. Whether it's credit card, medical, or personal loan debt, National Debt Relief negotiates with your creditors to reduce the amount you owe. National Debt Relief was able to reduce my debt by over $21,000.
From the minute I made the call to National Debt Relief, I felt immediate relief. They had a plan for me.
They treated me like a real person, not a number. It really was a team working with me. National Debt Relief negotiated with all of my creditors and reduced the amount that I owe. And I'm now debt free. If you owe more than $10,000, call or visit nationaldebtrelief.com to find out how you can become debt free. Hey everyone, interrupting your research with huge news.
Is it the new iPhone 16 Pro?
Just, how do you know? It's on the screen. Should have caught that. Anyway, the incredible new iPhone 16 Pro is built from the ground up for Apple Intelligence. And to celebrate that you can get fast speeds with Spectrum Mobile, I also did this.
We're all trying to study.
Sorry. The new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence. Get it with Speed Boost on Spectrum Mobile. What's your plan, huh? You have one? Talking about what is your plan for a reliable source of power when the next emergency strikes? Well, check this out. It's called the Patriot Power Generator 2000X, and it's from the family over at 4 Patriots. See, they took a page out of the military's playbook for portable solar power, and now we get to use it in our own homes. What's even better is that this solar generator can power critical appliances like your fridge, your microwave, and your CPAP machine, so that you're prepared for whatever emergency strikes next. So go on, check it out. It's over at 4patriots.com.
Oh, I'm always shopping the Real Real. They drop over 10,000 new arrivals every day.
Gucci, Rolex,
Prada,
Louis Vuitton.
Hermes, Cartier, Tiffany.
Up to 90% off retail. Endless luxury. The Real Real. Shop now and get 20% off at therealreal.com. Terms apply.
And Chomps, we believe everybody who takes should be bursting with bold flavor. And be a good source of protein. Grass-fed, grass-finished meat sticks, 0 sugar, and up to 12 grams of protein. Chomps, take bigger bites. Learn more at chomps.com.
Her body and the hands have been cut off. She stole 20 plus identities. She could escape through any police net. Where is she? The hunt for the chameleon killer. Series Thursday at 10.
We just signed the lease on our 3rd shop. My assistant went to customink.com to get new uniforms with all the locations. Even great products, uploaded new art, and had boxes sent to all the shops.
Custom-Made makes it so easy. Get started today at CustomMade.com.
The only thing I don't like about payday is waiting for it. Child, they should get up to $500 of your pay whenever you need it. There's no interest, no credit checks, no mandatory fees. I'm not waiting for payday anymore, and you should be. Join me at Chomp.com and get paid when you save.
A Chewy pharmacy order is on the way for Summit, who loves fresh air. Like, loves fresh air. But fresh air is full of stuff. Fleas, ticks, allergens. So the parents use Chewy for all her prescriptions. Fast delivery means they never miss a dose. And great prices mean more funds for more fun. For quality meds and great prices, for life with pets, there's Chewy.
Real horror fans love exploring the boundaries of the genre.
Horror films mirror the anxieties of the age.
It is the horror movie to end all horror movies.
This is awesome.
What better movie could you ask for?
Absolutely.
What about the rest of my comic books?
How's the jack-o'-lantern?
What about the boogeyman?
There's no such thing.
Richie said he was coming after me tonight.
You believe everything Richie tells you?
No.
Halloween night, and it's when people play tricks on each other. It's all make-believe. I think Richie was just trying to scare you.
I saw the boogeyman. I saw him outside.
There was nobody outside.
There was
What do you look like?
the boogeyman.
We're not getting anywhere. Alright. The boogeyman can only come out of home at night.
Right.
While I'm here tonight, I'm not about to let anything happen to you.
Promise.
Promise.
Can we make the jack-o'-lantern now?
Let's go.
What? But accidents can still happen. Xolair is an FDA-approved injection proven to significantly reduce allergic reactions from accidental food exposures. Taken once or twice a month, it focuses on the source of food allergy reactions. For adults and children as young as 1, Xolair is effective in reducing allergic reactions to a single or multiple foods.
Don't use if you're allergic to Xolair. Xolair may cause a severe, life-threatening allergic reaction called anaphylaxis. Tell your doctor if you've ever had anaphylaxis. Get help right away if you have trouble breathing or you have swelling of your throat or tongue. Xolair should not be used in the emergency treatment of allergic reactions, including anaphylaxis. Xolair is for people that choose to reduce allergic reactions, including anaphylaxis, while avoiding food allergens. Serious side effects such as cancer, fever, muscle aches and rash, parasitic infection, or heart and circulation problems have been reported.
Help reduce your child's food allergy reactions if an accident happens.
on, 14 dice to the bush myself.
I'm right with these fuckers and 2 feet below sea level.
Oh, and I boiled this in the back there.
Like, where are you from?
The down under. You'll betcha.
Great Barrier Rates, starting at just $14.99. Now at Outback.
My moderate to severe plaque psoriasis held me back. Now with Skyrizi, I'm all in with clear skin. Takes skin. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin in 4 months. And most people were clearer even at 5 years. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you've had an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
Now's the time. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
There's nothing like the bright lights of New York. And for these 2 teams, it's the time to make a name for themselves. Bengals, Giants, Sunday Night Football, NBC, Peacock.
I can't believe Daddy never told me I have a half sister.
I'm just looking for a place where I belong. Safe travels.
October 18th on NBC and Peacock.
Oh, fancy. This has not been my night. I spilled butter all over my clothes and in the wash and got stuck in the water.
I'll tell you so. I'd like you to call Ben Tramer and tell him that you were just fooling around.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
No, I've been drinking with my Godfrey. You won't be back till late. You'll have to call him tomorrow. Besides, I'm on my way to pick up Paul.
Wait a minute.
If you watch her, I'll consider talking to Ben Tramer in the morning.
Deal. Paul was grounded.
It was. Old jerk, I found a way to sneak out. Listen, I'll call you in an hour or so, okay?
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. The old Girl Scout comes through again.
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Why pay more for the same weights at other gyms when you can save tons at Planet Fitness? Save $28 or more when you join today for just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness, strong choice.
Shopping is hard.
Nothing ever fits.
Everything I own is a birthday present.
Make it easy with Stitch Fix.
Just share your size, style, and budget.
And one piece.
Stitch Fix. Online personal styling
take medications. What's my price? Also $9.95 a month.
I just turned 80. What's my price?
$9.95 a month for you two. If you're age 50 to 85, call now about the #1 most popular whole life insurance plan available through the Colonial Penn program. Options start at $9.95 a month. No medical exam, no health questions. Your acceptance is guaranteed. And this plan has a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, so your rate can never go up for any reason. So call now for free information, and you'll also get this free beneficiary plan. And it's yours free, just for calling. So call now for free information.
Call 1-800-791-3420 for your free information and your free gift. That's 1-800-791-3420. Don't wait. 1-800-791-3420. Call now.
Time to move. Make it easy with Open Door. Sell your home any season for any reason. Start your move at opendoor.com. Introducing McAfee Plus, all-in-one protection that goes beyond your devices. It protects you, your identity, and privacy. With McAfee Plus, you can enjoy life online confidently, because safety has a feeling all its own. Consumer Cellular is lowering the price for those 50 and up. Get 2 unlimited lines for $30 each. That's just $60 a month. So switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage satisfaction. Visit consumercellular.com today.
Here's a pistachio, peppercorn flavor, it's a cashew, Parmesan flavor, lemon chicken flavor, harmony. From the nuts, and you want the flavor.
Where is he?
Check. A Diet Dr. Pecker. A Diet Dr. Pecker. I just said that I know, but I'm saying it again to set up the next thing I'm going to say. Sarah Silverman said that she was raped by a doctor, and being Jewish, she said she has mixed feelings about that. I thought that was pretty fun. I don't think Sarah Silverman was really raped by a doctor. I think she was just saying that to be funny, and it was funny, I thought. She said, I was raped by a doctor. And I was raped when I was whatever, but it was by a doctor, so I don't know how I feel about that. What she said. Watch Jesus is Magic. That's the stand-up show that I'm talking about. It's called Jesus is Magic. I just wasted all your time saying that dumb shit. Let's get back to this.
Getting my first client made me feel like I actually knew what I was doing. When I was figuring out my LLC, I didn't have to know how to do any of that because Zen Business gave me options. I also didn't have to know what documentation I would need to run my business because it was in the platform. All you have to do is go to zenbusiness.com and get started. My name is Natalie Poindexter, and I am the founder and principal of NPI Consulting House.
Hey, it's Hannah. Sorry for the late video, and sorry that it's another Twilight one right away. I moved. I'm 20 hours away from where I was in the last video. I don't have a desk yet. I'm acclimated.
I fell asleep. Sorry.
Getting to being several thousand feet higher in altitude. So yeah.
She's showing cleavage in this one. I like that. She's showing some Cleveland.
Brain still broke, so we're doing more Twilight. Also, I just realized last video we edited about 5 pages of the first chapter. There are 30 pages of the first chapter. This book is 1,000 years long. But we are up to the challenge. If you missed the last video, I'm literally just editing Twilight. That's it. That's the video. Last time I got a lot of angry messages. I don't think Twilight's a bad book. I think Twilight needed an editor and fewer pedophilic themes. But so does Vampire Diaries and Buffy, as far as hundreds of year-old vampires being.
I heard her talk about this before. Everybody was mad at her because she was changing Twilight, but she pointed out, so correctly that what she does on her Word document doesn't change what's in the book. Doesn't change anything, I don't know who wrote the book. Doesn't change anything she wrote. There are still hundreds or thousands of copies of the original writing out there that you can go buy, and so it's just as this is whatever her name is wanted it. What is her name? I knew it at one point. Let's go. She's gonna make that. I hope she makes that point because she'll do it better than I do. Yeah, she's not changing the book. She's just she's writing something on a Word document.
Being attracted to 15-year-old girls. Twilight's not the worst. I don't know why I'm giving you guys an explanation like it's gonna stop people from sending me angry messages, but oh well. Okay, we left off. Wow, Dad, I love it, thanks. Maybe my first day at school would be a little less dreadful. I wouldn't be faced with a choice of either walking 2 miles. Oh, I don't know why I thought the scene ended there. Walking 2 miles in the rain to school or accepting a ride in a Chiefs cruiser. I'm glad you like it, Charlie said gruffly, embarrassed again. It only took 1 trip to get all my stuff upstairs. I don't know if it's because I expected it to be a scene break, but I'd like a scene break there. It took only... This is a writer quirk she has, or maybe it's a writer quirk I have, where I only took 1 trip. I took only, or it took only... It feels oddly formal to me, but it might be because I'm pretty sure Stephanie Meyer's from Utah. Maybe it's a regional thing. I don't know, but anyway. It only took 1 trip to get all my stuff upstairs. I got the west bedroom that faced out over the front yard. Why not just that faced the front yard? Or I got the west bedroom, comma.
That's what her name was. Stephanie Meyer. She moved with it. Ow. Again. Ow.
Facing the front yard. The room was familiar, semicolon. It had belonged to me since I was born. What does that mean? The room was familiar, it had belonged to me since I was born. I'm just gonna, since we get an explanation of the room, and then she says these were all a part of my childhood, I don't think we need those sentences. There's a butterfly.
So now you can see why this plugin has replaced like half my VSTs. Output Arcade has samples, instruments, and effects all in one plugin. Let's find a sample that we'll use for a beat. You can adjust these effects macro sliders to get the right vibe. Okay, but let's see what else we can add with this. The patterns line is great for finding instrumental licks to help fill out a track. I like that. There's a reason why I've used this plugin in every single beat for years now, and it's because I have everything at my fingertips. Go download a free trial of Arcade and start creating. Okay, so that's like the foundation of the beat. I want to maybe find some chords, find some bass. Okay, let's see what we got for some percussive layer. You can see it's so cool to just watch like the beat build basically in real time. I love adding vocal chops in all of my beats. I think it's probably the coolest things you can add, and Arcade has probably the best ones. That's gonna be like the focal point of the beat. Okay, so I went and added a few more things to this beat, but check this out. It's got vocals, instruments, it's got guitars, it's got percussion. I can EQ anything within it. One thing I love about Arcade is that like it gives me so many opportunities to basically add any sound I want. Sounds that I don't even think I fully even know how to describe what they are, but I just know it sounds awesome.
for both fiction, non-fiction, short stories, full manuscripts. I use ProWriting Aid several times as part of my process, and I consider it to be an invaluable tool that I use alongside my human editor. I'm Jo Frances Penn. I write non-fiction for authors as Joanna Penn, and I write thrillers, dark fantasy, horror, short stories, and memoir as JF Penn. I never really considered that I could be an author. That was like a magical thing that I didn't think I could ever be. I started writing before work in the mornings. I used to spend my evenings learning about how to be a better writer, but also about marketing, about how to make money as an author. Then I just started writing. I started self-publishing, took advantage of the technologies as they emerged. I heard about ProWriting Aid. And I was like, oh, I want to try another tool? And then I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a go. And I tried it, and I was like converted that day. I was like, right, I'm going to use this for every book. I use the integration between ProWriting Aid and Scrivener. So I open the ProWriting Aid and I open the Scrivener project, and I go through each chapter, one chapter at a time, and I bring the report. I go through each of the suggestions. I edit by hand, but I don't print it out until I've been through ProWriting Aid, because it can fix things that help me with the reading and pick up issues. Then, before I send it to my human editor, I will run it through ProWriting Aid again, because obviously I have made some changes to it. Hey, buddy. The wooden floor, the light blue walls, the peaked ceiling, the yellowed lace curtains around the window. These were all a part of my childhood. I think I'm going to take this out as well, just my childhood. The only changes Charlie had ever made were switching the crib for a bed and adding a desk as I grew. What about had made? The only changes Charlie had made were switching the crib for a bed and adding a desk as I grew. The desk now held a second-hand computer with the phone line for the modem stapled along the floor to the nearest phone jack. This was a stipulation from my mother so that we could stay in touch easily. The rocking chair from my baby days was still in the corner. There was only one small bathroom at the top of the stairs, which I would have to share with Charlie. I was trying not to dwell too much on that fact. One of the best things about Charlie is he doesn't hover. He left me alone to unpack and get settled, a feat that would have been altogether impossible for my mother. It was nice to be alone, not to have to smile and look pleased, a relief to stare dejectedly out the window at the shooting rain and let a few tears escape. I wasn't in the mood to go on a real crying jag. I would save that for bedtime, when I would have to think about the coming morning. I mean, that's a little heavy-handed and melodramatic, but also is from the perspective of a teenager, so I'll allow it. Forks High School had a frightening total of only 357, now 58 students. There were more than 7. Why are there so many semicolons and M dashes? I love M dashes. This is a lot. Why don't we just end a sentence? First High School had a frightening total of 3. I'm going to take out only because we have frightening and it's just a lot of modifiers. 357, now 58 students. I'm going to put parentheses just to take out some of those dashes. And we're just going to end that sentence and start a new one. It's not that hard. There were more than 700 people in my junior class alone back home. All of the kids here had grown up together. Their grandparents had been toddlers together. To get rid of the repetition of together, I'm just going to put with each other. They grew up with each other. There's probably a better way to phrase that, but I just do not like the repetition. I would be the new girl from the big city, a curiosity, a freak. Maybe if I looked like a girl from Phoenix should, I could work this to my advantage, but physically I'd never fit in anywhere. Ooh, we're gonna get a little physical description. Can't wait. I should be tan, sporty, blonde. Without an E is masculine, right? Pretty sure that's supposed to be an E. A volleyball player or a cheerleader, perhaps. We don't need that comma. I'm gonna take out perhaps and that comma. All the things that go with living in the valley of the sun.
I'm gonna take that out. Instead, I was ivory skinned without even the excuse of blue eyes or red hair despite the constant sunshine. I had always been slender but soft somehow, obviously not an athlete. Semicolon. Period. I didn't have the necessary hand-eye coordination to play sports without humiliating myself and harming both myself and anyone else who stood too close. We have another repetition of myself. This is something that makes me feel like it didn't have an editor. About humiliation. Which, like, maybe the first book was cheaper to produce? I don't know. I feel like after they knew these were going to be popular, they could have done another edition. But whatever. When I finished putting my clothes in the old pine dresser. Okay, see, when I finished putting, that's just weak phrasing. It's amateur. So it's not technically bad. There's just so much room for improvement really easily. When I finished putting my clothes in the old pine dresser, I took my bag of bathroom necessities and went to the communal bathroom. Bathroom. This is the easiest shit to spot. I just don't like the word pudding, so what about like when my clothes were folded in the old pine dresser, I took my bag of bathroom necessities. We could put I took my bathroom bag or I took my toiletries bag. Went is also a weak verb. We just say I took my toiletries bag to the communal bathroom. I looked at my face in the mirror as I brushed through my tangled damp hair. Maybe it was light, but already I looked. That's another thing, or just like, I already looked sallower, unhealthy. My skin could be pretty. It was very clear, almost translucent looking, but it all depended on color. I had no color here. Facing my pallid reflection in the mirror, I was forced to admit that I was lying to myself. It wasn't just physically that I'd never fit in, and if I couldn't find a niche in a school with 3,000 people, what were my chances here? I think we can take this line out. I didn't relate well to people my age. Maybe the truth was that I didn't relate well to people, period. Even my mother, who I was never closer to than anyone else on the planet, was never in harmony with me, never on exactly the same page. Sometimes I wondered if I was seeing the same things through my eyes that the rest of the world was seeing through theirs. Maybe there's a glitch in my brain. But the cause didn't matter, all that mattered was the effect, and tomorrow would be just the beginning. I didn't sleep well that night, even after I was done crying. The constant whooshing of the rain and wind across the roof wouldn't fade in the background. I pulled the faded old quilt over my head, and later added the pillow too. But I couldn't fall asleep until after midnight when the rain finally settled into a quieter drizzle. This is all very mopey and boring, but I think Bella's mopey and boring, so that's fine. Thick fog was all I could see out my window in the morning, and I could feel the claustrophobia creeping up on me. They only put creeping up or creeping in. You could never see the sky here. It was like a cage. I take out that semicolon. Breakfast with Charlie was a quiet event. He wished me good luck. I say wished me luck. At school, I thanked him, knowing his hope was wasted. Good luck tended to avoid me. Charlie left first, off to the police station. That was his wife and family. I don't think we need to be that direct. We have the repetition of left again, so we already know that he left, so we can just have her sitting. I sat at the old square oak table. We get old a lot. So far for me, the description of the house doesn't do a lot for it or for her. I feel like she's just describing a house, which is fine, but when you're describing a scene, especially with a character introduction, you want to include things that are going to tell us something about the world or tell us something about the character, and she keeps calling everything old, which I guess is like, this is my childhood home, my dad is not very modern. So like, we get that. We can learn something else now.
U.S. Bank has a business checking account that has no monthly maintenance fee and smart tools that make forecasting cash flow a walk in the park.
Nice. Planning can be rough, but this would help a lot.
Just trying to throw you a bone.
Oh. Business checking accounts that do more for your business.
I sat at the square oak table in one of the 3 unmatched chairs and examined his small kitchen, with its dark paneled walls, bright yellow cabinets, and white linoleum floor. Nothing was changed. See, we just keep, that's all we're learning. The house is old, Charlie set in his ways. Nothing was changed. My mother had painted the cabinets 18 years ago in an attempt to bring some sunshine into the house. I like that. Over the small fireplace in the adjoining handkerchief-sized family room was a row of pictures. First, a wedding picture of Charlie and my mom in Las Vegas, then one of the three of us in the hospital after I was born, taken by a helpful nurse, followed by the procession of my school pictures up to last year's. Those are embarrassing to look at. I would have to see what I could do to get Charlie to put them somewhere else, at least while I was living here. It was impossible being in this house not to realize that Charlie had never gotten over my mom. Is this how it was printed? Did I get a bad copy? This doesn't read like a sentence. I'm Googling this to see if it comes up as a direct quote. No, that's the sentence. That's the sentence. It was impossible being in this house not to realize that Charlie had never gotten over my mom. Oh! It was impossible not to realize that Charlie had... Okay. What if we just phrase that clearer? We could just say, being in the house, it was impossible not to realize that Charlie had never gotten over my mom. It made me uncomfortable. I didn't want to be too early to school, but I couldn't stay in the house anymore. I think we could... It was impossible not to realize that Charlie had never gotten over my mom. It made me uncomfortable. I didn't want to be too early to school, but I couldn't stay in the house anymore. I donned my jacket, which had the feel of a biohazard suit, and headed out into the rain. Headed into the rain. It was just drizzling still. It was still just drizzling. I don't know if that's regional. Is this just me, or are these sentences weird? Let me know. I know you will. It was still just drizzling, not enough to soak me through immediately as I reached for the house key that was always hidden under the eaves by the... Am I dumb? Can I not read? Not enough to soak me through. What if we just put, it was still just drizzling as I reached for the house key, hidden under the eaves by the door, and walked up. The sloshing of my new waterproof boots was unnerving. I missed the normal crunch of gravel as I walked. I couldn't pause and admire my truck again as I wanted. I was in a hurry to get out of the misty wet that swirled around my head and clung to my hair under my hood. I'm just gonna take this out because I'm a quitter. Inside the truck, it was nice and dry. Either Billy or Charlie had obviously cleaned it up, but the tan-upholstered seats still smelled faintly of tobacco, gasoline, and peppermint. The engine... Isn't that what the grandpa smelled like in The Parent Trap? Remember The Parent Trap, like the first one? Pipe tobacco. The engine started quickly, to my relief, but loudly, roaring to life and then idling at top volume. Well, a truck this old was bound to have a flaw. These sentences are just some whoppers. They're some big boys. The antique radio worked, a plus that I hadn't expected. Finding the school wasn't difficult. Why didn't she say what she's listening to? I want to know what she's listening to. Finding the school wasn't difficult, though I'd never been there before. The school was, like most other things, just off the highway. It was not obvious that it was a school. Only the sign, which declared it to be the Forks High School, made me stop and take out Take out that fucking semicolon. It looked like a collection of matching houses built with maroon-colored bricks. Again, we don't need to be told that the color is a color. There were so many trees and shrubs I couldn't see its size at first. Where was the feel of the institution, I wondered nostalgically. And take that out. Where were the chain-link fences, the metal detectors? Small town feel. I parked in front of the first building, which had a small sign over the door reading front office. This should be either capitalized or in quotation marks or italicized or something. No one else was parked there, so I was sure it was off limits, but I decided I would get directions inside instead of circling around in the rain like an idiot. What does she need directions for? Didn't she say that it's like a teeny tiny place with 200 people? Like there's probably not that many buildings. I stepped unwillingly out of the toasty truck cab and walked down a little stone path lined with dark hedges. I took a deep breath before opening the door. Inside it was brightly lit and warmer than I'd hoped. The office was small, semicolon. A little waiting area with padded folding chairs, orange-flecked commercial carpet, notices and awards cluttering the walls, a big clock ticking loudly. Plants grew everywhere in large plastic pots, as if there wasn't enough greenery outside. The room was cut in half by a long counter cluttered with wire baskets full of papers and brightly colored flyers taped to its front. There were 3 desks behind the counter, one of which was manned by a large red-haired woman. It was woman wearing glasses. She was wearing rep. Why don't we just put with glasses? She was wearing a purple t-shirt, which immediately made me feel overdressed. The red-haired woman looked up. Can I help you? It's only, we can put she. I'm Isabella Swan, I informed her, and saw the immediate awareness light her eyes. I was expected, a topic of gossip, no doubt. Of course, she said. She dug around a precariously stacked pile of documents on her desk till she found the ones she was looking for. I have your schedule right here, and a map of the school. She brought several sheets to the counter. To show row. To show row? To show row. I feel like I don't speak English anymore. To show me. How'd that happen? This is the first time I've looked up something that seemed really weird that was actually incorrect. If anyone has a better bootleg of Twilight, send it to me. She brought several sheets to the counter to show me. She went through my classes for me. I'm gonna take out for me. There's so many repetitive words. It's really easy to catch those in your own writing. Literally just read them out loud. She went through my classes, highlighting the best route to each on the map, and gave me a slip to have each teacher sign. I'm gonna take out each, because each was already said in the sentence, to have teachers sign, which I was to bring back at the end of the day. She smiled at me and hoped, like Charlie, that I would like it here in Forks. I smiled back as convincingly as I could. When I went back out to my truck, I'm gonna take out. When I went back to my truck, other students were starting to arrive. I drove around the school, following the line of traffic. How much traffic is there? There are 200 kids. I was glad to see that most of the cars were older like mine, nothing flashy. At home, the commas are also inconsistent, so in fiction, you can pretty much do whatever you want in creative prose with commas. You can use them all the way correctly, or you can use them where they kind of feel right, or where you want the reader to take natural pauses, especially in dialogue. You got a lot more options. So at home, there should be a comma after that clause, and she has used them at other parts in the book. So I'll just put it here. At home, I lived in one of the few lower-income neighborhoods that were included in the Paradise Valley district. It was a common thing to see a new Mercedes or Porsche in the student lot. The nicest car here was a shiny Volvo, and it stood out. Still, I cut the engine as soon as I was in the spot so that the thunderous volume wouldn't draw attention to me. I'm gonna take out to me. I looked at the map of the truck, trying to memorize it now. Hopefully, I wouldn't have to walk around with it stuck in front of my nose all
and find out what happened to my lunch.
Again, how big is this campus? There are so few students. I stuffed everything in my bag.